Hello and welcome everyone to this week's episode of the podcast. This week we have not just one guest, but three amazing guests with me. And these are the incredible jewelers that took part in the Jewelers Retreat, which we filmed this summer. So anyone who has not heard about the Jewelers Retreat yet, it is basically a TV show that we made for jewelers, and it's a bit like Bake Off but for jewelry making. So we set the jewelers tasks, jewelry related tasks, ask them to make things, give them a time pressure, so not much time, and they have to make the best they can. And they also have a mentor from Jewelers Academy who's in the room with them, kind of helping them along with the session. So it is great fun. And all of these jewelers are from the Advanced Jewellery Diploma. So they're pretty hardcore. They wouldn't say it themselves, but I can say it about them. And we had so much fun filming this year that I thought it'd be a great opportunity to come and have a chat together, hear a bit about their jewelry businesses, about their experience of being on the show, and just encourage you guys to come along and have a watch because it is a great fun. So welcome everyone. Thanks for coming back to do the podcast.
Hi.
Hello.
Lovely to see you. So let's do a quick intro for anybody who's not seen who is on the show yet. So if we just go around and you let everyone know your name, your jewelry business, and what courses you've done with us before the retreat, that might be a good place to start. So Kath, would you like to go first?
Okay, so I'm Kath Dare, and my jewellery business is Kath Dare Jewellery. And started off doing boot camp. Although I was part of the London Jewellery School years ago, which we worked out. And then I did the Advanced Jewellery Diploma.
Brilliant. And I've just been told today is submission day for you guys. So we asked you to do a podcast and submit all your pieces on today. So it's a big day. It's a big day for you. Brilliant. All right. And Tressa, do you want to introduce yourself next?
Hi, I'm Tressa Amir, and my jewellery business is Russian Blue Jewellery. And a bit like Kath, I also did courses at the London Jewellery School back in the day, and then did boot camp and a few of the kind of short courses on the technical side, and then the advanced diploma, which I'm very glad is now in.
Brilliant. Well done. Very exciting. And last but not least, we have Kate.
Hello, I'm Kate Seow and my jewellery business is Kate Seow Jewellery. Yes, I've also done some of the London Jewellery School courses. I think there was a stone setting one. It was quite memorable. I did the fine jewellery diploma before I did the advanced jewellery diploma. So I've done 2 diplomas now, or very nearly finished the advanced jewellery. And yes, some of the short courses in Jewelers Academy and boot camp. So yes, quite a few things.
Awesome. Yes. Yeah. And you've had it's been really lovely watching your journeys, all of you actually, and seeing you guys progress on the diplomas as well and building your own jewelry businesses. So I think a lot of jewelers will be very inspired by your stories, which they'll hear more about inside the Jewelers Retreat show, because each episode we interview one of the jewelers a little bit, as well as showing you all the making and all the tools and all those things. So I'm excited for you guys to learn more about these jewelers too. So let's talk a bit about the retreat for anyone who has not seen it and is thinking about watching. I guess my first question is, how did you feel when you were asked to do the retreat? Had you watched the one before, and what was it like before you got here to do the show? So maybe Tressa, you can kick us off with that.
So I had watched season 1 and thought it was great, but when you called to ask me, my gut reaction was no chance. Mainly because the idea of being in front of a camera was really not my thing. But then I did have a think about it, and I thought there's nothing better than just putting yourself completely out of your comfort zone, and I'm so glad I did.
Yeah. So kind of nervous at the beginning, and maybe wouldn't have been something you applied for, but when I forced you on the spot, you were like, okay, all right, why not? Let's do it. And was it what you expected it would be like filming the show?
I didn't really know what to expect, but I did have a chat with Marketa before, and she had said it was one of the most amazing few days of her life, and I can completely see where she's coming from. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Okay, wonderful. I'm excited to hear more about that in a bit. And Kath, what about you? How did you feel kind of before the retreat?
Um, well, when I received the phone call from you, it was an absolute knee-jerk yes, definitely. But then I was like, why me? Why would why would Jess ask me when there's so many wonderful jewelers as part of the academy? But like really, really anxious about being filmed, but also like how could I not do it? And yeah, absolutely no regrets. Loved every minute of it.
Wonderful. Well, I'm glad there was a knee-jerk yes. It's
Yeah.
funny how we react in those situations, isn't it? I don't know how if I was in a similar situation, if I'd be like yes or no, or I need to think about it, or yeah. But I'm obviously very glad that you both said yes. And what about you, Kate? How was it like for you, kind of getting ready for the retreat and hearing about it?
So again, the phone call. Oh, I was so excited. I was just like, talk about the happy dance whenever we make that. This was like happy dance on steroids. So I was so happy, so excited. But then there was and what am I going to do about childcare? Because I have a little boy, and I'm the one who does pretty much all the taking him to school and all that sort of thing. So it was yes, as long as I can get somebody to look after him for a few days and make sure that my husband's around, my dad's around. So yes, um,
Yeah, yeah. And they survived without you.
did yes.
You could go again for like an actual retreat one day.
At the moment, I could do with one.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, good to know. Good to know. Brilliant. Okay, so we got to the point of you all saying yes and you're coming along. And then obviously we asked you to make 3 different pieces. So it's 3 days, 3 episodes, 3 pieces. So we film a lot. It's very intense. And the jewelers arrived the day before, and we had a little bit of time the day after for interviews and things. But mostly it was like those 3 intense days, wasn't it? What would you say was your favorite day or piece that you made? And Kath, we'll go with you first.
I think my favorite day was probably day 3, because by then I felt a bit more comfortable being filmed, only a bit. And of course, we'd all got to know each other by then, and it felt really warm and bonded between everyone, like including the film crew. And I really, really enjoyed that aspect and felt like I'd grown into what we needed to be doing. My favourite piece, they all gave me a little bit of a tough time, to be honest, when it so I think, oh, difficult to say. I really liked the necklace, I think, because of the sentiment behind it as well. And there's quite a few sort of I quite like the techniques that I'd used, even though, as I say, I felt they were quite challenging. But yeah, so I'd say that.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah, that's interesting. Well, and the necklace is from episode 1. So anyone tuning in or who has tuned in to watch episode 1, that's where they make the necklaces, and they all make a necklace for like a special person or occasion. So it's really nice because there's a meaning behind each of the pieces. And Kath, you made one for your best friend, didn't you? One of your best friends.
I did, yes.
Which is really lovely. We won't spoil the surprise of what you made exactly or who it was for, but it's a really lovely story behind it. So I can definitely understand why you chose that. We had a few issues with the rolling mill not being pinned down to the floor. Had to put a disclaimer in the episode that you should really, when getting a rolling mill, put it in something that is drilled down into your floor or the equivalent. We didn't have that, so we end up just holding it all. So there's some interesting techniques.
It was a team effort, wasn't it?
Yeah, team effort indeed. So and yes, I love that necklace as well. And Kate, what about you? What was your favorite day and or piece that you made?
Oh, I don't know about the day. I don't know about the piece. Probably same as Kath actually. The last day, just because by then we've relaxed a bit, and the bulk of it's all sort of over and done with, and it's done, and you can just I don't know enjoy it a bit more and really get into the experience. I don't think I can pick a favourite piece. Just all of them. They've all got gemstones. How can I choose?
It is hard. You had lots of really stunning pieces, lots of stone setting in yours as well. Yeah, I can understand why it's challenging. Okay, well, all of them. There we go. What about you, Tressa?
So same as Kath and Kate, I think day 3 was my favourite because we'd all settled in and I enjoyed it. And it was the most challenging day in terms of doing a technique I'm not very familiar with. So it was very much out of my comfort zone, but I did really enjoy it. But my favourite piece was probably the one from episode 2, the engagement ring. And just because it gave me so many challenges, yes, and it was nearly a complete disaster, as those who see episode 2 will see. And so I think as a result, I'm quite fond of it, having got it there in the end.
Absolutely. I loved your wedding ring, engagement ring set. So yeah, day 2, they make a wedding ring and engagement ring for an edgy couple. So you've actually kept the themes the same as season 1, because we love the themes and we were like, let's just, see how different jewelers take on these themes. And so different to last season. And anyone who's listening who hasn't watched season 1 yet, definitely make sure you binge watch it quickly before season 2. Or, if you kind of are in the flow of season 2, you can do any order. It's all great stuff. So yeah, episode 2 was a really good one as well. So awesome. Lots of nice pieces. And what was it like? So you guys all stayed together in a house together, which is different for this year, but I think was really nice for you guys to kind of get to bond and all of that. What was it like? Did you guys know each other before the show? And what was it like kind of spending those 3 or 4, 5 days together? Kate, maybe you can share.
Yeah, first of all, the house that we stayed in was just it was incredible. It was an Airbnb, and the family that lived there, obviously sort of free spirits. It was just this fabulous house. And on an evening we get to sit down. There was a lovely living room, and we just had a chat, and it was just such a wonderful experience to spend time with fellow jewelers and be able to talk about some of the challenges that we face. And it was just really, really just a wonderful support network that we seem to have developed. I mean, we've tried to meet up since then. I think Tressa and I have managed to go to Goldsmiths Fair, and we're going to try and meet up with Kath again at some point. So it feels like we've made jewelry friends, proper friends. So that was wonderful. There was another part to the question which I've forgotten.
No, well, that sounds great. It was just if you guys knew each other before and what it was like being kind of in the house. And I think you answered it. It sounds like it was a really nice bonding experience. Yeah, wonderful. Does anyone else have anything to add to that one? I have some other questions to grill you with otherwise, because I imagine it might be similar.
Yeah, I've met up with Tressa a couple of times because we both live fairly close to London after, and we have a Facebook group that we chat on, which is just, I have found it so valuable. And yes, I'm hoping that we can do something together again on another occasion, because it's isolating. I think it can be quite isolating being a jeweler, and I think that it was just so lovely to have those days together, and then having the mentors staying as well, and getting to know them and having a glass of wine in the evening or a cup of tea, just chatting it all through. It was just so lovely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's really nice to see kind of how everyone gels together, and I think we have so much more in common than we realize, because we all have this love of jewelry making and we're all on these similar journeys, and you guys have obviously done diplomas as well, so you've kind of got that shared experience. And what was it like? So we had 3 mentors on the show, slightly different mentors to last time, all from the Jewels Academy mentor team. So we had April Dace, who is a new mentor for us the last sort of year or 2. She's amazing. I hope everyone's excited to get to know her a bit more on the show. We also had Anelia Caprina, which anyone who knows our diplomas will know her, because she is featured heavily on them, but an incredible kind of fine jeweler. And then we had Barbara Yard, who as well gets gets kind of accosted in Sainsbury's because people know who she is from our YouTube channel. So so all three of them. So what was it like kind of having them around? Because you guys are advanced now. You're not, you kind of know what you're doing. So I wasn't sure before the show, like how much they're going to need the mentors, what kind of role will they play? But what was it like for you? Maybe Tressa, you can kick us off.
I think it was just really helpful, just the emotional support as much as anything else, because when you're being filmed and you've got a time limit, your mind goes a bit blank. So things that you would normally know or rationally be able to do, just having someone there to go, is this the right thing? Does this look straight? It was really useful having someone. And also with the rolling mill, having somebody else to help pin it down was definitely handy.
We needed them for that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What about you, Kath? How did you find it working with the mentors?
Well, I became really needy by the 11th and just was so grateful that they were there, because again, exactly as Tressa said, I knew what I was doing. I've done those settings before successfully, especially the flush setting time and time again. I just went to jelly, and just the support from them was just so it was just so lovely. It was really nice to have them there, and yeah, just good fun to have someone else to bounce off as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like you said, you're out of your environment, you're not in your own workshop, so everything's in a different place. We also, day one filming was the day you arrived, so it was like, quick, get here and start straight away. So it is a very intense kind of environment working, we have an amazing film crew, but working with any kind of filming situation. So I think those familiar kind of voices and faces can be really helpful. What about you, Kate? How was it for you?
It was just so wonderful. First of all, yes, the support, but also when things are actually, you're okay, and you don't really need them for that moment, and they're just coming and saying, how are you getting on? And I can't remember who said it now, but at one point somebody said, have confidence, you are a good jeweler, you're making incredible pieces. And just that confidence boost was just so wonderful to have. I think that's been one of the biggest things, just this, actually I can have faith in my skills and my designs, and yeah, confidence.
Yeah. Love that. Absolutely. It's a good reminder in the moment when it's quite overwhelming and there's lots going on. And what would you guys say was the main lesson you've learned from this whole experience? It's a very open question, but I'd be interested to know your thoughts. Yeah, Tressa, what would you say was your main lesson learned from doing the retreat?
I think because I have another full-time job and this is basically a hobby for me, I think I've always felt a bit of a fraud as a jeweler. And so a bit like Kate said, that kind of validation of being invited to do the retreat and doing the retreat and sort of not entirely cocking up the pieces, it kind of made me feel, oh, maybe I am a jeweler. Just because I don't do it full time doesn't mean I'm not. And on top of that, being on camera isn't as scary as it can appear.
No, you're a natural on camera, Tressa. But I think when it's new, it's something new, you don't know how it will come across. But yes, no, you guys all did an amazing job. And I think you're right. There's many jewelers who are always part-time, and often by choice. They love the other thing they do and they love this thing and they want to do both. I've met lots of people like that. It's not the case for everyone that they hate their job and they want to leave to make jewelry sometimes, and that's absolutely fine as well as a journey. But lots of people, they just want to do more than one thing in their life, and that's okay. So yeah, I think you make a really valid point that just because you may do something else, it doesn't mean that you're any less valued or kind of a less of a jeweler than you would be. So that's a really nice kind of precedent to set as well. Kate, what about you? What's your main lesson you've learned from doing the Jewelers Retreat?
I think because for me going away was quite a big thing, and in the past there are things where I haven't done maybe a craft fair because I thought, I'm not going to be able to have somebody look after my little boy. And I think it's just given me that, no, just ask for help, ask for somebody to help you out with this so that you can go off and do things. And you know, put myself out there a little bit more. Yeah, it's given me a bit more confidence to do that. And yes, I can get my husband to spend the weekend with our son. He doesn't really, but without me being there, they will be fine.
Yeah. And I think sometimes it takes something really big to kind of almost force that first time, doesn't it? And then you're like, okay, actually it was okay, everyone was good, and maybe I can do some other things and bring that flexibility back into your life after a big, big change, which is being a mum, and kind of we structure our whole worlds around these lovely little humans, but we also set as role models for them. And how amazing is it that he's going to get to watch you for forevermore on YouTube. You're a YouTuber now, Kate, which is very cool, apparently, with the kids. So you can understand that one. And what about you, Kath? I know that doing the retreat was a big thing for you as well. What was the main lesson you learned?
That other people do believe in me a bit more than perhaps I believe in myself. So again, I think it was a huge confidence boost. And yeah, I just need to trust a bit more of my own style, and just run with it a bit more, instead of always feeling like maybe it could always be better. It could always be more refined and more polished, but that it's just my style, and actually that's okay. Just a bit more faith in myself. I'd say that's my takeaway. Even just being asked in the first place was, I definitely suffer from imposter syndrome, definitely. So I think it's helped with that.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit. I'm not sure. I could be an imposter saying that. I think that's very relatable. And I think what's interesting, it kind of brings up an interesting topic. I remember I was talking to someone the other day, another jeweler, and they were saying like, oh, this person's work is so precise and everything's very traditional and very clean and all these things, which is great. That's a style. That's a great one style. And they were saying, but my work's more organic, and I was thinking, well, how boring would it be if we all did the same thing? And if only what is classic and traditional was accepted, like how much would that stunt jewelry as a whole kind of craft and trade? So I think learning to have, like you said, Kath, confidence in your style and what you do, which may evolve and change for all of us, for anyone listening, it's not always about aspiring to be like someone else, but just to kind of be the best version of what we do for us. So I think you are a great example of that. And thank you for kind of sharing about that. So next I want to talk about tools because tools are a big deal for jewelers, and they are a big deal on this year's Jewelers Retreat. And there were a lot of tools. There were lots of them. Can't wait for everyone to see them all. And, some of you used more tools than others. Some used more kind of, traditional stuff. Some had some really funky things for you guys to have a look at. What was your favorite tool that featured on the Jewelers Retreat, whether you used it or someone else? And I'm going to come to Tool Queen, Tressa, to begin with. Tressa arrived with a van full of tools, pretty much. Her car was loaded to the brim. It was just a car. Yeah, let's not get carried away. But there was some pretty cool stuff in there. So I know you had lots, but what was your, if you had to pick one favorite tool that you want to share with everyone, what would it be?
It's like choosing a favorite child. It's difficult.
Everyone's got a favorite child, though, really.
Yeah, but they don't admit to it.
Well, that's true. Yeah, no one will listen. It's fine.
Actually, my favorite tool is probably a really simple thing. I really like my saw because it's a green lion, but I got the chap who makes them. He was doing kind of bespoke ones, so I asked him if he could make one with a Paduke handle, so it's the same wood as the fret hammers, because I like things that match. And it's just a lovely thing to work with. So despite all of my tools, I think my saw is probably my favorite.
There we go. Special handle, green lion saw. We'll look out for that on the show. See if we can spot it. Yeah, well, we use a saw so much, don't we? So it makes sense that that's one of the favorites. But definitely look out on Tressa's bench for a lot of other tools, because she's good with the tools. Kath, what about you? What was your favorite tool on the show?
I'd just like to say, I think Tressa's robbed me of my answer.
Oh no.
A van full of tools. So yeah, so because I love my saw as well. So yes, what is my favorite tool from that? Well, I bought a pillar drill because of Ian, and I actually love that, and that was behind me at the retreat. And I'm actually going to say that the pillar drill has been a really great thing in my life. Actually, no, the Fordham. Fordham is definitely top of the pops.
You got three tops. Saw, Fordham, pillar drill.
Yes, yeah. But I didn't get a Fordham until considering how long I've been making for, and I just do use the traditional tools pretty much. But I got the Fordham, and it was like a whole new ball game. So I'd say to anyone who's toying with the idea of a Fordham, just get one, because it's quite life-changing, I think, because it's just so many different ways it can help you. So yes, Fordham, it's gone up there. It's gone up to number one.
Love it. We've got a saw, we've got a Fordham. I agree with you. I don't think anyone's ever bought a Fordham and thought, I really wish I hadn't bought that.
I just wish I'd done it years before. I really do.
So much time. Yeah. And on our diplomas, we pretty much force you to get one. Not in year 1, but in year 2 or year 3, because for your own good, because it's going to help you polish, stone set, all the things. I feel like I know what yours is, Kate, but I could be very wrong. So I'm curious, what is your favorite one?
I'm gonna have to my torch.
Well, that wasn't what I was going to say, but I do like your torch as well. Tell us about your torch.
Well, I've actually got a new one since I have been on the diploma, because on the retreat, because the little Dremel that I absolutely love it, because it's great for getting small pieces, especially if you're doing really dainty things and you don't want the melt monster to pay a visit. And so the Dremel's been great for that, but it just doesn't quite have enough oomph. And so I've been starting to do teach some jewelry making classes in one of my local places, and so I bought 2 new torches so that I could do that. I basically commandeered one of those as my torch. It's just a bog standard Cousins one, but it's very similar to, I think, one that I borrowed whilst I was on the retreat, and it's just got a little bit more to it than the Dremel, so it's great as an everyday torch. So yes, I love my torch.
Awesome. And your torch is a Dremel torch, which is quite unusual, because usually Dremels, we think of a Dremel, the rotary tool that you get before you get the Fordham. So yeah, I think people will be interested to see your Dremel torch, because it almost looks like a pen, kind of in the way that it's shaped. Yeah. See, I thought you were going to say your optimizers, because every time I looked over, they were on. But I guess that's the same for all of us. There was a lot of magnification required in these pieces. So brilliant. Okay, well, have a look out on the episode, see if you can spot the 3 tools mentioned and many more. And there's some kind of tool tips in there as well. I have another question. Getting there with them. So next I want us to talk about techniques. So you guys covered lots of different techniques throughout the show. You covered lots in each episode, and we kind of dissect some of them and talk about them a bit more in the show, so that people watching and listening can kind of learn as they're going on as well, especially if they're newer to jewelry making. What was your favorite technique that you used on the show, and what piece did you use it on? I haven't prepped anyone with these questions, so just straight on the spot. Sorry about that, guys. But you can handle it. You've been filmed live for 3 days whilst making, you're pros at this point. So Kath, do you want to kick us off with this one? Favorite technique and what piece you used it on?
It's really quite simple, but gave me so much joy, was the frosting wheel.
Do love a
Probably not a technique that you were looking for a bit more of an in-depth one, but I used it on my octopus engagement ring. So one had a high shine and the other was matte, and I've not actually really used one before now. I can't believe it. I've just done other techniques to give a matte finish, but just loved it. Just loved the frosting wheel. So
And what's a frosting wheel for anyone listening who's not seen them before?
sorry, can you say that again?
What is a frosting wheel for anyone listening who's not seen one before?
It's a very spiky, pinny, lots of sort of, it's like a brush, but a very aggressive steel brush that you put into the Fordham, and it just scuffs the metal and makes it matte. And I used it on the gold, which I think just looked so lovely. Really, really very pleasing.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. And it's so quick, isn't it? Like it's just an instant, like, oh, it looks finished and beautiful.
Yeah, no, yes.
Yeah.
Lots of joy.
There we go. Frosting wheels. Love it. Okay. And Kate, what about you? What was your favorite technique that you used?
Probably the micro claw setting, although just to follow on from what Kath was saying, because I saw the frosting wheel as well and I hadn't used one before, and so I've now invested in some and I'm currently going crazy with the frosting wheel, so thank you. But no, I did the micro claw setting, and there's something about that technique which I really love, and it just there's something quite precise about it, because you've got to have these little boxes for the stones and you've got to measure them out exactly, and it's just very satisfying. I can't explain it anymore, but yeah.
Yeah. And when you did that on the diploma, did you enjoy it straight away, or did it take some time? It was this immediate, like, this is my thing.
Yes, there was something about it that just clicked. So now I would love to make a series of half eternity rings with lots of different coloured stones in, and just have a play with that.
Wow. Yeah. Well, we'd love you to do that as well. We want to see them. It sounds awesome. Okay, brilliant. So we've got frosting wheel, stone setting. What about you, Tressa? What was your favorite technique? I also think I know the answer, but let's see if it is
right with this one. It was the pave setting. And I think it's because it's always been something I never thought I'd be able to do. And yet with the diploma, Scott was able to just make it so much more manageable and achievable. And yet my pave setting still has a long way to go to look less chewed, but at least it looks a bit like pave setting. So I think
it looks amazing, by the way. She's being very harsh on herself. It looked incredible, especially pave setting with a whole film crew, a whole room full of people, and every hour or so I was saying, you've only got this much time left.
On the 3D shape, it was not going for an easy task.
No, but it looks incredible. So I'm excited for everyone to see your pave setting as well. Beautiful, beautiful pieces. So make sure you guys tune in if you haven't already, and have a look at the Jewelers Retreat to find out more about the Jewelers experiences. There's loads of stuff on tools, techniques, and we had good fun as well. I guess my final question would be, what would you say to anybody thinking about doing the show in future, if we ever do it again? I know I said every time I say we're never doing this again because it's so much work, even though it's incredible. If we ever do it again or something similar, what would you say to somebody thinking of taking part? Kate, maybe you can go first.
Yes, do it. Just do it. It's just been so much fun, such a wonderful, wonderful experience. Yes, definitely out of my comfort zone, but in the best possible way. So thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. Do it.
Love that. Yes. And thank you for saying yes, Kate, and being such a great kind of participant on the show. And Tressa, what about you?
Definite yes, as in I would definitely recommend doing it. It was an amazing experience, and also getting to know Kath and Kate has just been awesome, as well as the mentors. And thank you. It's been great.
Yes. Oh, lovely. Thank you as well, Tressa. And Kath, what about you? What would you say to someone who's thinking about doing something like this in future?
Absolutely, yes. It's not easy, and you've got to really pull from within, but absolutely do it. It's magical, and yes, again, thank you, and to all of you for supporting me as well emotionally, and yes, brilliant, loved it.
That's lovely. Yeah, well, it wouldn't have been the same without you exact three people, the dream team. It was yeah, a lovely time. And sorry, I said that was my last question, but I have one more, which is about you and your jewelry businesses. What is next for you guys? And also at the same time, maybe you could just share where people can find you online. So Tressa, if you want to go first, where can people find you and what is next for your jewelry journey?
So I'm on Facebook and Instagram as Russian Blue Jewellery, which is named after the breed of my cat. And my next thing is to actually get a website up and running. And I made a mini collection during the Advanced Diploma, and I'd like to get that on the website and actually start selling things rather than just accumulating jewellery.
Yes, brilliant next step. Can't wait to see the website. And yeah, you'll have some wonderful pictures from the retreat and from your collection on the Advanced Diploma as well. So it'd be wonderful to kind of have them up there for everyone to see. But definitely go and give Tressa a follow if you haven't already. And Kate, what about you? What's next for your business and where can people find you?
So you can find me at Kate Seow Jewellery, that's Instagram and Facebook. I also have my website, which is www.kateseowjewellery.co.uk. And what's next? I've got the sort of two strands. So I've got my sort of commissions and one-of-a-kind side of things, and I really want to start going to some bigger fairs. So there's things like Living North and Great Yorkshire Show. Whether I get there next year or the year after, I'm not quite sure. But yeah, bigger fairs, more commissions. And then I've also got the teaching side of my business, so continuing to run local in-person classes, just getting people started on jewelry making and share the madness.
Brilliant. Oh, it sounds very exciting, especially those big fairs and the jewelry making classes. Real nice kind of mixture for you. So wonderful. And do make sure you go and give Kate a follow if you haven't already. And last but not least, the lovely Kath. What is next for you, Kath? And where can people find you?
So I have Instagram and Facebook as well, Kath Dare Jewellery, and a website, kathdarejewellery.com. And I'm hoping next year, well, I'm going to do a couple of exhibitions, some with an artist friend, and focus on just one collection for that, which is what I created whilst on the Advanced Diploma, the design side, which I absolutely loved. So yes, that's what I'm hoping for next, and then and also maybe some sort of slightly bigger events to sell at.
Brilliant. Well, all exciting things, and we can't wait to watch you guys grow and develop as you go through your jewelry careers as well. So yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us on the podcast today. I hope everyone listening enjoyed hearing a bit more about behind the scenes in the Jewelers Retreat. I think by the time this episode comes out, you will have had episode 1 already. So they are every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Live on our YouTube channel. We kind of give away little prizes and things for people who come along live and chat with us, especially if they're very chatty. So do come along, get involved. But if you miss them live, you can always catch the replay on the YouTube channel as well. It's Jewelers Academy. We'll put the link in the show notes. And thank you guys so much again for coming. It was lovely to see you, and I can't wait for you to watch all the shows. All right, take care. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Jess. Bye. Bye, everyone.